on, people. It is time. It is time. So for the people who are joining us on the YouTube today, we just administered a little test to see how many of my students are 9-dan professionals. And we did that by setting up 6 games that featured 2 9-dan pros going at it. We've actually labeled all the games. I'm not sure if this shows up on the camera at all, but this is the first game is KG and Guli. And the white player is always listed first, the black player is always second, and all these problems are black to play. So first, let me ask the students. I think we have about 10 of you who took a look at these, so some of you got more time than others. How many do you think you got right?
Out of 6?
Out of 6. Out of 6 games. And these are all multiple choice.
1.5. Is this
one out of 3 for sure.
1 out of 3.
I didn't study all of them.
So you think you got 1?
I think so.
Anyone think they got 2?
Sure.
Anyone think they got 3?
Yeah.
I'd like to hope for 50%.
Does anyone think they got 4? Is anyone willing to put their reputation on the line and say that they think they got 4?
I think there's a good chance I got 4.
There's a good chance. All right, John got 4. All right, we're gonna cheer for you, John. All right, so this first problem. First, I just want to know how many of you really liked A. Anyone vote for A?
Well, that seemed to be something complex, like maybe a Don player would figure out.
Quite possibly. All right, so but no one voted for A. Remember, I instructed you all, you only get 1 vote here. This is very important. How many of you liked B? Yes. We got a couple votes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes for B. How many of you liked C?
Yuck.
No one liked C. Wow. How many of you liked D?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is not adding up to the number of people in my class. How many of you liked E? No one liked E. So there are only really 2 votes. All right, so one of them is in fact the move that Guli played. But before we look at those 2 moves, let's just briefly look at the others. How come you guys didn't like C?
It traps the sun.
What's it trying to bite off? Where does it go?
This is actually a very common shape to settle this group.
Okay.
Because watch what do you want white to play?
On top of it.
Yes,
All right, if you play on top of it, boom, your group now has eyes and
Right.
it's settled.
Right.
Right? And if white comes this way, you can actually come up this way.
So did black not have eyes without that move?
Well, black right now is saying, you know, this isn't that important, I'm out, I can get to the middle, I don't need eye space yet. Right. But this would be one way to create eye space. There's other ways to create eye space though, too. So it's not that important.
Right.
The other nice thing that's potentially nice about C though, is that this, if you end up having a strong stone here, this would put more pressure on the corner. So, you know, it's not the best move, but it has merit.
It's a move that can work, but
only a
maybe this
3
isn't the right time for it.
Yeah, it's a move that's really useful later in maybe a slightly different situation, but right now this group is still flexible enough where we're not so worried about it. There's bigger things to do on this board. So no one liked E. How come you guys didn't like E?
Just seems slow. Concentrated.
That's a really good move. It's a really big move.
It's a good move, but
It's just points.
just better.
It is just points, but it's a lot of points. All right, A is actually pretty difficult. This can involve some difficult reading because you have to read out both a variation when white plays here, as well as when white plays here. And if you decide that neither of these are good for white, then you have to actually go and look at this variation. As well, or there's one other variation. This variation might even be best. Actually cut this off. But either way, white's okay. This move actually isn't too severe. It does cause trouble and it does potentially give you an invasion. But white has ways to deal with it. White has friends nearby. So it'll just be, it'll be like, it's a type of invasion you do in more of a late game situation where
You're behind.
maybe not even you're behind, but you're willing to give up Sente, right? It has very little momentum behind it.
Right.
Okay, so D, I think 6 of you voted for D, right?
Yes.
Why did you guys like this one?
It's a good attack, good territory.
What are you attacking?
The center.
You know,
There's nothing in the, there's nothing in the middle.
Well, it just looks like a lot of territory.
Looks like it makes good shape.
So does this. If you're telling me you voted for a move because it looks like it makes a lot of territory.
Well, you want more influence over the white stones on this corner.
Okay, so this one does have the benefit of putting more
Yeah.
pressure on it.
Pressures
So
the corner while building a box.
sure.
Right.
So these are good things to
Instead
do.
of just the one that E was doing.
I would like this move a lot more though if we already had a stone over here.
Oh, yeah.
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 Right, that'd be very severe. But as it is, what's your follow-up after you play this?
Depends on what white does.
Well, I figured white would play the move.
Let's say white comes over here. Now what do you do over here?
Play E.
Play E. Oh wait, this is valid.
So
This is
then
valid.
Hop in around C with that. But it's probably me playing my moves backwards.
Can't you just push it down, like with the
Not
shoulder
at
hit?
C.
For follow-up?
For here?
Yeah.
You
Kind
can.
of your idea
You
of
can.
making that nice wall.
But you know, if white has this group that's a little bit safer, then maybe white finds a move like this later, and basically just tries to reduce your area because white has a lot of points now.
Yeah. There's
So it's still. I mean, this is still a game. This
yeah,
isn't
there's
a
still
game
base
over.
in the corner too,
You mean for black?
Yeah.
Yes, but it actually gets a lot more difficult after this exchange.
because it's getting stronger, right?
Yes.
You're helping.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're gonna take the corner.
So
you gotta do it, yeah.
this is not a bad move, but it doesn't do enough locally. It doesn't keep the momentum enough locally, right? This is thinking very much about this area.
Takamiya style.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's very Takamiya style, right? We're just going to build the middle. But even more Takamiya style would be to build the middle with momentum, right? And so this is the move that Ghoulie plays.
Got that one.
Right? Because what is this move? You know, even if white lives, which I'm pretty sure is a difficult task, number one, but even if white lives, what are you going to build out of it?
Big wall.
You're going to build a big wall and probably in Sente. Right? So if that goes to plan, right, if you can do all this in Sente, and you do end up, white, let's say white ends up living small here, and you do get this giant wall, then you have time to come back and play this in Gote. And now you know you want this, right, because you already have that side working with it. If you do this first, you know, maybe white will even do something like this.
Ouch.
Well, it's not, I mean, it's still a game.
Yeah.
But you sort of lost momentum a little bit, you know, because white is actually going to be able to reduce you and build shape at the same time.
Can white actually, instead of that shape, come more straight out?
So this is
Connect
actually a
the-
common Sibicky shape. You want to play this?
Yeah.
Possible,
Not as strong, right?
but I don't know. They all have pluses and minuses. The nice thing about this one is it puts more pressure on over here. So maybe white later can pressure this down to one eye. So maybe. I don't know what's best. You know, here, they all have pros and cons.
The next move makes it easier to run and drop on the stone and get out.
So, anyway, this is the Ghoulie move, right? Attack while building. Really important move just in any type of game. When you have an opponent's weak group on the board that doesn't have eye space, and you clearly can gain from attacking it, you should attack it.
Do you know what the response was?
I don't remember.
Yes.
I'll have to, I can look it up on my iPad afterward and figure it out. Okay. Good. Feel good? All right. Board number 2. So you might just have to stand it up on all 3 legs again.
I think we're on.
Yeah, I think we're going to cut off the top. Maybe move the board. Can we move the board?
Oh, we were fine with the board back a little bit.
Oh, well. All right. You're the cameraman.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. So this is Cho Chikun versus Hane Naoki. Both of these games so far were played in the last year, so these are both recent games. And let's start with the voting. Let's see what you guys thought. How many of you liked A? 1? The cheese stands alone? All right. How many of you liked B? 1, 2, 3. 3 of these, okay. How many of you liked C? 1 C. This is much more diverse than the previous one. How many of you liked D? 1?
You wanted to see.
You wanted C? Okay, we'll put them down as C. How many of you liked E? 4 of you liked E. That's funny. That's very funny.
Is that more votes than we have students?
This is in fact the move that Hane Naoki played. So let's talk about it. Why would he play this? Because this is, when I was scrolling through these games, when he played here, I went, huh, really? It's so plain looking. It doesn't really do anything, right?
Didn't his line, but
Well, that's
Like-
what looked really good for white to me.
It also looks really good for white, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And even though it looks like we're trying to build this is small territory,
Mostly
right?
it's just white's huge if white gets huge.
Yeah, so first we have to consider a white move here. And this white really, takes these invasions away if white gets here. This move also does something else really important. There's something else about this board position that is really a big deal. What is the big deal I'm referring to? Still got nudged a little bit. What is the big deal on this board?
Is maybe one group a bit weak?
And maybe one group is a bit weak. Which group would that be?
The one that's not quite all together there, it has the minimum number of stones.
Wait, can you point it out to us? Yeah, this white group
Yeah.
is very weak. Does it have eyes?
No.
No, okay.
All it's got is a way to run.
It can run. It's far enough out into the middle where we know it can run. But what happens when black starts getting stones here?
Less of a place to run.
And what happens if white gets a stone here?
It's got friends.
It's got friends, right? This is
Got options for running now.
So even though this really doesn't have a huge gain in terms of our own territory, it does make an invasion over here more severe. Certainly, the reduction is now just flat out doable. And this is the really key part about this move. This move attacks this group. Right? And we could say that this move over here also attacks this group. This is very similar. But this one might also lose us points. Right? We're not actually gaining points. This is Dame right now. And especially if white's able to respond this way and maybe find a cut or something, maybe this one isn't as good. It's still, but if we know we're attacking this in this direction, this is good. But we don't know that yet. And meanwhile, this move again threatens invasions. It does build a few points, not very many, but it most definitely takes away one of the avenues for this thing to run. And so the idea is once we do get it running, maybe we can lean on this and eat this stone too as profit while it's too busy running because it can't go this way. So it's a really nice move, even though it's a move I would often dismiss in my own games. If I was playing this game, this looks very uninteresting, right? It's a very small. We're talking about small territories. For the most part, even though there is invasion here, white can deal with it. This move looks quite large in terms of points, and also group safety and not getting sealed in. This move does a lot of really nice things.
This group is not really in danger of being captured.
It's not in danger, but it can get sealed in.
Yes. But it's not like it needs to die.
No, it's not going to die.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
it doesn't need a move to live, is the important part.
Yeah.
But this is a lot of points, though.
Yeah,
Because,
that's more.
well, I would actually, in terms of like concrete points in this board, I would actually argue this is more points than this. And maybe that's just my bias because these points are easier to see. But remember, not only is this making the corner ours, this is undercutting all of white's points as well.
Well, E helps to push on that. If E helps to capture that,
Yeah, well, that's why we like E.
yeah, it's bigger points.
Yeah, well, but those points are harder to see, is my
Yeah,
point, right?
yeah.
These are very concrete points.
They're not as immediate.
Would
Yeah.
you do C next then?
After E?
Perhaps, yeah.
Does white respond to this over here, or does white respond over here?
I don't know.
Okay,
B.
if white responds over here, then yeah, my next move is probably going to be in this area, maybe even C. Quite probably. So, this move has a lot of momentum, has a lot of implications in a couple areas of the board. I usually discourage you guys from making these moves that do like 3 different things kind of okay. Right? It does a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and a little bit of this. Those are usually terrible moves for Q players to use. Usually I want it to do 2 things very well, right? Those are the types of moves I want you guys to find in your games. And this one is one of those moves that normally I would avoid teaching you guys, right? This does like 3 things kind of sort of okay, right? It builds a couple points, it threatens an invasion, and it attacks that. But all those things are kind of like loose. It doesn't do any one of them really that strongly.
And it takes away white's play, so that's 4. It takes away white's play there.
It does take, I guess it does take away the potential here, so, which is large, especially if white can seal this in.
So is it bad if we got this one right then?
No, it's very good if you got this one right. So, which 4 of you did, so good job. All right, let's move on.
Flopped on this one, so.
All right, get the camera in position. Working on it. All All right, so this game is Lee Chang-ho and Park Jung-won, who we just looked at a Park Jung-won game not too long ago. Was that even last week? I can't even remember. Was that 2 weeks ago? I think it was last week, right? I can't.
Last week was counted.
Oh, last week was 2 weeks ago. Okay. How we look? We look good? Okay. So Park Jung-won is black, and we're trying to figure out where he played, right? This is supposedly the #1 rated professional in the world by the KBA.
So if we got this, we're basically top in the world.
You're basically like, number 1 or number 2, it can vary. How many of you liked A? 4 votes, 5 votes for A.
I like A.
6, 7 votes for A. People changing their mind at the last minute. How many of you liked B? 1? 1. How many of you liked C?
C was good too. I almost picked C.
Almost picked C. How many of you like D? 1D?
Oh, D.
Okay, 1D. And you like D? 1E?
I sort of like D, but I like things sometimes they're not good for me, so.
Yeah. So A has a problem. A looks really good. But there's an obvious problem with A. What is the obvious problem with A?
Yeah.
No, white will play this way.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry, just
And-
with that piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, like black is like, look at all my territory, it's huge. But then what is white saying in that same breath? Mine is huger.
So I
You're
guess
helping me build mine even bigger.
So we can look at the center of the board and it's tipped on the black side.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a problem, right? Like A is such an awesome looking move. It's like, yeah, we're going to reduce white while building ours
Yeah.
this huge territory. But white's just going to swallow this whole quarter of the board.
Did I flip flop one too many times?
Maybe. Maybe. So, one of you liked C?
No, I said I sort of liked it.
No, but one other person said they liked C. I forgot who it
voted
was.
for A.
No, it wasn't.
There's no C.
Oh, there was no C. Oh, all right. You said you sort of. C doesn't put enough pressure on this group. If C actually really popped out eyes or did something directly, C is possible. But as it stands, this is not a good move. There's too many other things going on. E. I think we have 1 E. E's no good. Now, why is he no good? Well, white will probably play something over here. And if black doesn't play again, white's going to take his weakest group on the board and unite it to this giant Moyo thing. So you're sort of provoking the bear in the wrong direction a little bit, right? You're encouraging white to build this thing. So even though E is huge in terms of points by itself, it has a really bad flow to the rest of the game. And it also will basically prevent us from doing that later. We might decide this is doable and we want to do it this way. So, which comes to B.
No.
Yeah, this is going downhill. I think 6 of you got the first one, 4 of you got the second one, and only 1 of you, was it Leo?
Yeah.
Leo got this one, nice job.
B and I switched to A.
All right, do you guys remember my sort of rules for invading? Like, when do you invade? How do you?
Your opening game.
Okay, that's true. After the opening, it defines what makes the middle game. In fact, so as soon as you invade, the opening's over, right? Just sort of by definition. But when else do you invade? When do you build? When do you invade?
When they're getting too much.
Yeah, when they can build more than you have to invade.
He's got a double wing and he's building more.
That's right. And if you saw, if we just build, white can build faster.
Yep.
So we can't just build while reducing. We have to do something more drastic. We have to go deeper. And even though this is a reduction move, I'm going to call it invasion, just because white has a lot of stones here. It feels like we're actually in pretty deep. But it's still far enough out into the center board where technically it's a reduction. The other thing about this move that you don't get to do with A is this move will actually make use of this stone. When we play A,
Stone disappears.
we're basically just saying you're going to die. Just leave the stone behind.
Yeah.
And this one we're actually threatening to say, okay, if you don't kill us now, I'm going to run out that stone as well.
I was thinking of this isolated stone here and could I do anything with it? And I said, well, if I do anything with it, I thought more of a knight's move.
Ah, like this?
Yeah.
Ah, but this is one line deeper now. This is much less
Well,
safe.
on B, white can disconnect them, right?
Yes, but you want white to disconnect you. It's a pain for white to disconnect you.
Okay, so you're
right?
basically sacrificing
If
one
white,
stone.
if white plays this right now,
Yeah,
right, we can go and play another reduction move, maybe something that also builds something else for us.
Okay.
And then once this shape gets defined, we can say, okay, this wall maybe is useful, let's come this way.
so that.
Or maybe white will leave Aji behind and we'll come here.
So basically that black stone is being used for its leverage, but you don't mind losing it.
Absolutely. Like we're trying to get white to capture it, but capture it with the worst shape possible. You know, maybe there's even enough room to do, right now there isn't, but maybe later there's enough room to, you know, make eyes and even use this stone to live if white tries to cut this off immediately. And in the game, in fact, white does not cut this off. White does not take the bait. Because he knows he'll give too many moves to black on the outside, and there's still a ton of Aji with this stone. Never mind, I mean, that was kind of a fancy way to use the Aji, but of course there's the more obvious ways where, you know, you can just press on it and just force white to just surround it entirely. But still, there's these attachments and things that are really a nuisance. So,
B.
we want black to capture B, or try to capture B. It's going to be a big nuisance on white. Or sorry, did I say black? We want white to capture this thing,
Decoy.
the decoy. Yeah. So we want to use it, but we don't want to commit to it because if we just try to do this, this is going to get rough on us. Our nearest friend's all the way over there. Not usually something we want to do yet, is just run a weak stone across the board. Okay? All right, let's go on. So overall, let's see, if we compute the monkey here, the monkey should get 1.2 correct for each one of you, right? Just the monkey, you know, randomly guessing. So, which means in total, you know, as a class, if we want to beat the monkey, we need more than 12 people to get a correct answers. Right, so I think we had 6 on the first one, 4 on the second one, and 1 on this one. So we're already at 11. That's a really good sign. We're already like, you know, just kicking that monkey's butt. But it can go downhill very quickly. All right, we have Yamashita Keigo and Yamayuta. Yamayuta, one of the current Japanese pro stars. What do you guys think? How many of you played A? 1 played A. How many of you played B? 2 played B. How many of you played C? 1, 2, 3, 4 played C. How many of you played D? 2, 3 played D. How many of you played E? No one like D? You guys love this move, this type of move on the other board over there. On the I think the second board. Okay, so let's talk about B first, because B is not where he played. But this is the one that had 4 votes, right?
I think that was just us. That was just me.
Oh, who was the one? Which one was that had 4 votes?
I said B.
Oh, C had 4 votes.
Or, I said C, never mind.
Okay, so C is a big move. Here, let's talk about C first then. This is a big move, but what is going on this board?
Yeah, the battle over it.
There's things happening.
Needs to go on the deck.
That is not settled.
Not
If
settled.
white plays that, you still can invade on that. It doesn't feel urgent. A big move, but
Yeah, it's a big move, but it doesn't. We're not really using this stone to build something huge, right? White has these other areas. White doesn't have to respond locally. You know, white can, but white doesn't have to. It depends if he just wants more points than black in this corner.
But black has stones in every corner except for that one.
Yeah, but white already kind of has this. It reduced this way.
Oh, yeah.
And again, if white just swallows all this, that's a lot of central influence, right? So it's still gonna be very hard to use this stone. So this is a big move. Okay, no one's saying it's not, but the action's over here, guys. Yeah. If white captures all of this, that's a lot of influence that you're giving up, in addition to the points. Okay, so 2 of you said B, I think, right? Was that? Am I remembering correctly at all? B looks really good, right? It's like, look, we'll get a huge corner, but there is a but. What happens when white plays a move here? Did you guys look at this? People who chose B, did you guys look at this response?
No.
No.
Okay, this is the type of thing you should be doing when you're looking at these problems, right? Is find your favorite move and then try to beat the hell out of it. Just, see what you can do against it. What does black do when white plays here? There's really, I guess, 3 responses you consider. Here's the first one you have to consider. Why is this a terrible idea?
White cuts.
Yeah, white cuts.
Go along with it.
And then white plays here. And then if black wants to live here, black does need to come back. Capture the corner. Hey, you got the big corner. You got what you wanted, but
Toast.
that's a pretty nice group here for white.
Yeah.
If you wanted less Aji, you could play that one.
Quite as big as it looked.
You could actually probably just play here and be fine, quite honestly. You could play something more adventurous. You don't need to be so conservative. Yeah, and the corner's big. Like you got an 8-ish point corner, maybe a little bit 9 points. But
Could have been better.
yeah, there's easily 9 to 15 points there. So again, there's other responses that we. Is this, yep. We would also have to read out this one. This would also be one that you'd have to read out. But do you know how white refutes this way? There's actually 2 ways depending on what you want. Yeah,
target
depending
white.
on what you want. If you want these 2 stones, I think you come here. But this also leads to a fight where they can still get out. But we could also just capture this stone directly. And so clearly if black connects, we just eat the whole thing. So black will take a stone and we'll take a stone. But here, again, this is where I said it sort of depends on what happens after this. White can come here to take away the other eye, or maybe white just takes the outside now. I don't know. It's not. White was able to deal with it just fine, right? It wasn't terrible, and quite frankly, we're still under attack, especially if white plays here. This would probably be most severe. Now we're just running. Okay, so B is kind of a trap. Oops, that's not there yet. B is a little bit of a trap. Well, how about D?
Isn't there another? There's another black stone on there.
I don't think so. Well, that looks correct to me.
It seemed to me that D kind of lost locally there in that nexus between A and D, but then it might somehow strengthen to do that attack at B. But I started working it out, and I saw one way, I said, well, that didn't work, and went on to the next problem.
Yeah, it still kind of feels like white can just defend and
Yeah.
take the
yeah.
corner. Now we just have a group without eyes. Right, this move still, for our purposes, works well enough. And keeps black without shape. So, in the game, Iyama came up with this move. With A. And I chose this point in the game because I was like, oh, what a cool move, what a cool idea. Because what is he saying with this move? What if white just plays here?
Yeah, is black's next move that's interesting. So does he play above or below that? Yeah.
I think he plays here, but this is also an option. Right?
Yeah.
I think he plays here.
Yeah.
And he's saying, okay, you can eat these, right? Yeah. But if you don't eat them right now, I still have B. Okay? And if you, even if you spend a move to eat them, now all of a sudden you have the weakest group on the board. And he counterattacks this way. That's not the game, of course, but that's a thing that you can look out for. And if white just tries to split, I don't remember, I think this is the game. I don't remember. I'll play the easy variation first. Right? Because black can just connect here, threaten B, live over here. I'd just be totally cool.
Keep B on the board, don't use it right now.
Yes, you don't know how you want to use it because later on, let's say for what white really goes after that cut really hard or tries to fix that cut. You have so much more Aji when white tries to protect that cut left over. There'll be a clamp move here. There's pokes. There's peeps at that cut, even if white defends it. This is still nightmare for white. So, again, the hard variation I think is what they played, where he targeted from this side and completely just fought his way out and resulted in a giant cut between the two groups. But I don't remember well enough to show you right now. Either way, A is really cool, right? This is a move that, again, keeps our Aji alive. We're super weak, right? White has 7 stones in the neighborhood. We have 3. We have to play these moves that create weaknesses and leave weaknesses behind, right? We have to do that if we want to get any sort of good result. If we play heavy moves, we're just going to get attacked as an entire group, and we're going to die, and it's not going to be fun playing Go anymore. Okay?
This one, please.
Okay, so here we're actually, even though this is a fairly recent game, we're going to look at 2 players who are a little bit more historically important. Particular, Ni Weiping is playing black. I probably pronounced that horrifically. But he was responsible for teaching so many of the young, hot Chinese pros. I felt it'd be honorable to include him in the series. And Mao Zedong also sort of redefined the Chinese style in his games. Anyway, Ni is here playing as black, and we're looking for a move for him. I will show you, so actually no, first we'll ask you what you all voted for here, I guess would be the proper way. How many of you wanted to play A? 1. Okay, that's a common theme tonight. B. We have 3 votes for B. 4 votes for B, okay. How many of you liked C? 1, 2. This is funny, you guys both said B, and earlier I heard you both saying how much you liked C. This is very funny. How many was C? Was it 1? 2, okay. How many of you liked D? 2. And how many of you liked E? 2. Oh, by the way, how many people got that one right on the last board? Was it just 1? Wow. So we're at the monkey right now, right? We're at 4 boards for 12 correct answers. Okay, so we just need to get 1 more right to beat the monkey. I think everyone picked, do we do E? Do we ask E? Yeah. 1, 2 for E.
3. So someone's right.
Someone is right, so we beat the monkey. We know we beat the monkey. We just don't know who yet. All right. Let's talk about A, because that's not the answer. This is a big move. When do you expect to play this move?
Endgame.
Endgame. Yep. And it's actually kind of funny that the 3 moves before this position on the board, it was white to play, and the board looked like this, and white played here.
I was wondering how this one got to where
Yeah, and then black played here, and then white played here. And this is where we are. So black has already decided not to respond to that once. And black's belief is that it's not endgame yet. They're still fighting.
That means
It also seemed to me that you've got the same thing over here, so it's kind of like, you know.
Yeah, if
one
you
pick.
respond to this one, white's is going to do the same thing to you over here. Right? So you know you're losing both if you respond to one. So...
But I think I picked the wrong of my 2 ideas.
Okay. All right, next, let's talk about B. Because B is not the answer. Sorry, 4 of you who voted for it. Why is B wrong? Where's white going to play?
Maybe we should ask why people like it.
Well, locally, this is, if you're going to fight back, this is better. If you're not going to fight back, you can always play here. Both of these, I think, are actually playable. I think actually just responding here is actually completely fine for white. Maybe a 9-Don Pro has something else to say about it. But even if we just pretend we play the obvious move, what's your follow-up for this stone? Is it here? This is the obvious follow-up. But you don't have a move here yet. Right? You kind of need 1 more move here to really seal white in. And furthermore, white might use the Sente to actually just take all the points in the corner. You know, it's possible. It's just not that good because now black needs another move. So we gave up points to get this, and this is good. But white is already kind of out here. And you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. It's still very thin. And white is
seems like
strong.
You're just strengthening white.
It does feel a lot like you're strengthening white, especially when sort of the hante or a proper move here to upseat. We already have a black stone here. So the normal move we see in this situation is here. This greatly upsets the base of this white group. Like unbelievably upsets white because we have this and then this combination. And if we just connect, which you shouldn't do, but if we do, which is the obvious thing, we can even play this really crude peep and just link up. And how many eyes does white have? 1/2. White can make one on his turn if he wants, but it's go take. So that's pretty terrible. So why would you ruin all that by playing B? And this is the real reason why B should not be considered, is because locally there's actually just better continuations just outright. So even though it looks like we get something good, there's just better. So B should be off the table. And if you guys read B out a little bit further, it's my dreams that you were able to see that. Okay, so which leaves us C, D, and E. In the game, black played here. And realistically, this is the only move of these three that you can justify not playing endgame moves, right? If black says, no, it's not time for endgame, what type of move do you need to be considering? Yeah, so some sort of severe invasion or reduction. Yeah. This attachment is standard. Some of you guys asked me about this, like, is this a normal move? Because I would play here or here. Yes, this is in this type of shape, especially when white has a 4th line extension. Attaching to the extended stone is actually a very, very common move.
So attaching to the extended stone is the,
Yes. And so if white tries to black tries to counterattack, there's actually several variations here. But there's, probably one of the most standards is just hane out with him. Because if white cuts, you still get a bunch of free stuff, right? You're going to get free stuff. You can even just give up that stone and just take the outside. This is fine. You can even get an extra free Atari. Get more strength on the outside. Or, if you are already strong enough, actually completely separate this. In this case, this is probably what you would play. And now, see these 4 white stones? Where are their friends?
on the other side of the
Yeah,
wall.
nope. So this could have some severe results that need careful consideration. And that's why black feels like, it's not time for endgame. I can still create a weak group on the board. We have to resolve this first.
So the whole point here is to kind of at least make a feint towards splitting those up.
Absolutely,
But then
absolutely.
if white plays under there, he can still keep them connected.
Like this?
But then well, I was thinking just straight out. But
No, even black must play here.
must.
Must. This is not a good result for black.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking black can get a little bit of a wall there, maybe keep white from coming out on either side. I didn't know, but so this is not so good. You're saying,
But you need to threaten to separate, right? This is where your power comes from this move. This is once you play this move, this is endgame,
yeah,
and we should have played back there, right? This is endgame, so we need to threaten to attack, and this threatens to attack pretty severely.
So if white crosscuts there, then,
It's not crosscut, it's Atari.
yeah.
Black has two options. If black is completely committed to this and has enough friends, we can play this way. But most normal in this quote-unquote Joseki, this is almost never played this way, by the way. This Hane is very rare in this type of sequence. Black can actually just extend. And if white captures this stone, black has this as an option, this as an option. Some cases, even this is an option, if this ladder works already. But we just build this in Sente. And now we have time to come back here. So now we have a little bit bigger of a wall area. We just got a bunch of free stones in the middle. This would be like a very, very peaceful, unlikely result, but possible. But notice black. If black does this variation, it completely ends in Sente, right? It's just the timing is good because we're threatening. Because again, the real power of this is the threat to separate that group. Whereas we have all these stones. We have to find a way to use these stones. When you have this formation, how many points are these going to make you? This is probably not going to make you that many points. So how do you use a bunch of thick stones? Attack, right? So here's the attack. You have to use it. If you don't, you lose. Okay? All right, one more game. This one is the oldest game. I believe this was played in 1975. But this is between Kato Masao, the Killer Kato, and Go Sagan, one of my favorite Go players of all times. One of certainly in the West, I guess all over the world really, but especially in the West, one of the Go players that we look to a lot. Right, Go Sagan, I believe, born in Taiwan and then became a pro in Japan. I sort of never really fit in with Japanese society and never really fit in with Chinese society. He just had this he just went his own path, right, his entire life. And certainly one of the, I would say, especially in the West, probably the second most famous Go player of all time. Ever, right? Who would be first? Does anyone want to venture a guess who would be the most famous Go player of all time? Shusaku. I thought about putting a Shusaku game up here, but I ran out of time to decide. Okay, so this is like a Go Second game involving these huge dragons running around the board. But it's actually sort of reached an interesting point in the game where the dragons aren't really running anymore. So where was black? And again, Go Second is black here. We're looking for where black played. Tell me what's dead, what's alive, and what's not yet alive. Everything.
Black on the other side is
Oof, point. Tell me. I don't know what the other side from where.
over here.
All right, this is all alive. That's good. How about these white stones? Dead. Okay. So if these are dead, how big is this territory?
Real big.
Oh, gigantic.
Real big.
Yeah.
Okay. But you can tell in this game, even though black took all this territory, white was able to get all this influence and chase this big black group around. And in doing so, white was able to build these walls and start to almost make a complete, even bigger white-sized territory over here.
Well, and that black group isn't alive yet, is he?
That's the question.
No, it's not.
It's got at least one
That's
eye.
the question. Is this black group alive?
It could, yeah, I think so. It needs a move.
I don't want think. I want, is it alive or not?
It needs a move to bring it to life.
Then it's not alive.
It's not alive, right?
Is it alive or not?
Well, one question is, can it make an eye down here? We know
Yes.
there's a light eye there, but
can, yeah.
can this one be made an eye?
Does it have to be made into an eye?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Where's its other, like,
It can run.
that's its second eye.
The other eye is here,
Yeah,
if you go
it-
about it right.
Well, okay, so you're saying you have to make a second eye, just maybe not there.
Yeah.
It can run.
Okay.
We have one where is it going to run? I want to
It
know
can't,
where.
it can't really run because white's too
Using
close
A.
all around.
You want to run here?
Maybe.
So A?
It gets cut.
A can actually play here immediately. The ladders right now are still good for white. So and this group has enough liberties to fight. But if we were alive, we could make this move, right? This might give us a lot of aji.
If it was connected.
Oh, even if not connected, it's still
Yeah.
a lot of cuts. Okay, so before we go any further into this, let's talk about what you guys voted for. I think we're, 2 up on the monkey? So, how many of you liked A? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 votes for A. How many of you liked B? Nobody liked B. Nobody liked us making 2 eyes right now. Nobody liked it.
It
Okay.
didn't make 2 eyes right now.
How many of you liked C? Just forget all that. This is going to be the corner.
C would be my secondary. I chose A.
No one voted for C.
I'm gonna go back to A. I haven't chosen.
You're going back to A. Okay.
I haven't chosen yet, so it's all right.
All right. D, how do you like D? 1 for D, 2 for D. Just protect this corner and make a bunch of points down here. Also, this D, I'll also say, does theoretically put pressure on this group, though this group is still currently fine because it can capture there or there. How many of you liked E? So 5 of you liked E. Let's go Sagan. Played here. Black is alive. Black can't be killed.
Sure.
In the corner?
Go say
The dragon.
the largest section.
Oh.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
This is a half eye. This is a half eye. This is a full eye. All right, kids here. fraction time. 1 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 gives you what? 2. How many eyes do you need to live?
E gives them another eye, though.
E doesn't really do much.
Okay, so now you play on B. Follow up on B.
So why not
Okay,
play B
and
direction?
then you need to connect on one side or the other, but you got both open. So white cuts you off one side on this little shape here. White cuts off on one side, black plays the other side. Now you got
White plays here.
Okay, then black plays here.
Okay, so now you have 1, 2.5 eyes.
Sure, and the group's alive. That's the point. The
No,
group's alive.
no. Now it's white's move.
Give me all the points.
You have more eyes than you need.
You have 2.5 eyes.
Right.
Oh.
If white takes
Okay,
this
so you're saying
eye away, you take this.
you're saying this is an eye then. That is an
half an eye.
eye, so it didn't need that.
It didn't need that.
Yeah, okay,
That's my point.
yeah, okay,
2 half eyes equal 1 full eye.
That's right.
yeah.
So, yeah, look at this territory. It's even bigger than black's. So, well,
Every time.
Is there no possible invasion in there now, or is it just too?
I don't know, especially with this Aji. Like, there's Aji here,
Yeah.
and there's Aji here. Yes, there's Aji. I'm not saying there's not Aji,
Yeah,
but I also don't want to play out a 50-move sequence right now to decide whether or not it can live. It probably can, but if white will also be working very hard to read this out, in which case, instead of playing here, maybe white plays here, and that kills it. You know, maybe white can find a move that both protects the corner and prevents life over here.
okay.
So, but black doesn't, you know, even though Go Sagan can read, 100 moves in advance, he doesn't want to if he doesn't have to. He just goes 1, half, okay. Let's invade the corner.
Yeah.
Done. So, even though this game looked really complicated, I was hoping so much that you guys would actually see how easy it was. Because it comes down to basically, is the dragon alive?
Yeah.
Can I get the 2 eyes? Yes. Go take the biggest one.
If white plays on D instead, does white get to invade that corner and take over?
Oh, almost definitely, except black will respond to this. And depending on how this invasion goes, or what sort of endgame's over here, black will either come this way or go this way.
Okay, I was thinking D just because you wouldn't want white to take that.
You don't, and in fact, actually after this invasion usually ends in Sente when the opponent wants something big, right? It'll end in Sente for black. Black's next move is actually over here in the game. So he gets this invasion and then he gets that corner.
So the order of that is actually kind of important.
It is important because this is not Sente, right? Because white can capture there and white can capture there. Although in the game, I think actually after black plays this, I think white ends up taking those 2 stones for some reason that I don't recall soon after. Yeah. Oh, and actually another little trick. White actually plays this move. This actually takes away the half eye.
Yeah,
So black has to respond to this. So after this invasion, white plays this in Sente because again that threatens.
2.
There. Right. Black can't actually capture that stone because this stone, right, Atari's this group as well as cuts there.
yeah, so what, I was thinking black would not play there, it would play here.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, but then you still have this, and
I
then,
just kidding. He on the other side, just like you did.
okay,
If you play there, you still want to.
I would have gone on the
Yeah, just like
end.
you got chopped off.
You just
Oh no, it does matter. That does matter, doesn't it?
I would go
It does
here.
matter. I just assumed that.
Doesn't white just connect?
Yeah, but now black can make an eye over there. So
Oh,
that
I
wouldn't
see.
make this. The idea is to make this Sente. Oh, maybe white plays here first.
well,
Does that make a difference?
now you don't have an eye in there.
No, you do.
How do you have an eye in there?
You could play
But
here.
the thing is,
Oh no, you don't have an eye.
And
Yeah,
then
you don't have an eye.
take the
Yes,
eye.
you don't have an eye. You're
the
right.
thing is with the diagonal things, once
Right.
white plays on one side, black has to play on the
That's
other
right.
side.
That's right. So now there's no eye in here. White comes back to pop out this eye, which let's assume all these aren't here yet. Right, something like this. And now this group is dead, right? If black tries to make the eye this way, Atari and connect.
Well,
Right,
don't
make this way,
try
Atari and
that.
connect.
At this point,
What do you mean it's dead?
well, at this point, try to try to.
Oh, you
cut
have to
this?
use this, yeah, you have to use this Aji somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's a really hard fight, especially if white already has this corner.
Yeah.
And there's a giant white wall here because,
it gets a little short.
yeah, but there's a line of white stones here because black took the corner.
Oh, okay.
So, in that case, when white plays here, yes, black has to respond.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many of you are 9-dan pro now?
I'm about half.
1/6 of a 9-dot pro.
1-6, what are your scores?
1.5.
We didn't do that well. We really didn't beat the monkey by all that much. Like, it was like a hair.
I didn't make it to
1/3.
I didn't beat them. I told you, thinking and not just guessing makes you worse than the monkey.
I believe it. I believe it. So, we're not 9-dan pro.
We're close, though.
Okay. Well, anyway, again, this is the last class we'll have here at the Seattle Go Center for 2015. I will reconvene here. I think it's definitely not the first Monday. I can't remember. Are you guys all on the email list?
Yep.
All right. You'll get an email when the next class is happening. It'll be like the second week of January-ish, maybe third. I don't remember how the dates work.
I'm not on the email, so just give Brian a heads up
Yeah,
and he'll announce it.
He'll
Thanks.
announce it. Do play lots of Go in this interim. You know, don't lose your skills, but you have at least 3, maybe 4 weeks before you have to come to class again. So just play some Go. Try to use your skills that you've learned. Okay?
Yes.
Happy holidays, Happy New Year, all that stuff. All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.